Wikipedia is not the only major site to go temporarily offline over this Stop Online Piracy Act, is it? Why are they all so angry, and what's this law set to do?
Yeah, there's a whole number of sites because people understand this bill is going to change the rules for the internet, not just in the United States, but around the world. Up to now, we've treated the internet like anything else. If there's a crime on the internet, it's the job of the police to track down the people responsible, bring them to justice, and hold a trial to decide if they're guilty or not. Under this bill, the rules totally change. It makes everyone who runs a website into a policeman. And if they don't do their job of making sure nobody on their site uses it for anything that's even potentially illegal, the entire site can get shut down without even so much as a trial.
Is it likely to go through? And of course, the irony here as well is that the US is often criticised in many countries for media and online censorship, and effectively it's doing the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite frightening. I mean, this would be the first time in the US that it would have the same kind of censorship we see in Russia or Iran or China. Sorry, not Russia, China or Iran, where certain websites, you can visit them in Canada, you could visit them in Mexico, but only Americans would be prevented from visiting them.
Yeah, delighted to say you can visit any website you like here in Russia. Copyright infringement costs firms billions of dollars a year. We can't get away from that fact. Surely, though, the counter-argument is that some up-to-date legislation is necessary to protect people from effectively stealing material. You can't argue against that, can you?
Well, look, I think a lot of the numbers have been questioned by independent researchers. It's very unclear exactly how much is lost to copyright infringement, and it's clear that whenever there are legal opportunities to download music and movies, they're very popular. Look at the success of Apple's iTunes. But the point is, even if it were true, even if it was a big deal, the solution is not going to be getting rid of the entire court system. I mean, many people are upset about rape, but the solution hasn't been no trials for rapists who are suspected. We need to continue to have due process, because it's worked in every other case. There's no reason that the copyright industry should be special and not have to obey the law.
Will other major websites like this take action now, do you think, as the US government begins wrapping rules around the internet, which is supposedly supposed to be free of control?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen lots of sites like Craigslist, which is a very popular site in the US, Reddit.com, an online news site. There's a whole long list of sites that have taken part in this strike, because everyone understands this is something very different from the way US laws normally work. It's much more extreme, and it takes us down a really dangerous path.
When I last spoke to you, you yourself were in a bit of trouble yourself for a similar thing. Is that still progressing?
Yeah, it's still ongoing.
All right then, Aaron. I'm sure you'll tell us about that at some point in the future. Aaron Swartz, founder and executive director of demandprogress.org. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for having me again.